Joining me today is Tonix, YouTube video maker and Golden Gnome nominee in 2019. He's well known for his various skilling guides on YouTube and recently has been streaming his PVM journey on Twitch, learning all the bosses and recently unlocking the Warden title. Today, we'll discuss how he got into Runescape, the reason he keeps playing, and many other topics, including what he thinks could be done to improve Runescape. We'll also discuss his content creation, how he started with it all on YouTube, his favourite moments, and much, much more. So join me as I head into the mind of Tonix.
Oh my goodness, finally I get a leg top. Thank you. Finally, Araxi.
Hello, Tony. Welcome.
Thank you.
How you doing this evening?
I'm doing pretty good.
Well, evening for me, afternoon for you, I suppose. Good old time zones.
It's 4:22 p.m. right now. I think you're in UK. You must be like 9ish.
We are 5 hours ahead.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, let's start. How did you first get into RuneScape?
I first got into RuneScape because my friend introduced me to it back in elementary school. And when he introduced me, at the time, he was like, check out this cool, awesome game that you fight monsters. And so I checked it out. That was what it all started. Yes, go ahead.
And then did you ever leave, or did you you kept playing ever since?
It was way back in 2006, and I got hacked several times between 2006 and 2008. And my old computer stopped running RuneScape effectively at some point in like 07, 08. And then when I finally got a PC to work by downloading some Windows XP service packages, I was able to go back to it and grind my free-to-play skills. At the time, I didn't have membership, and then in terms of breaks, I took a break after my first month. The membership expired for 5 years. That was my only break. And then I came back in 2014 and never took a break afterwards.
That is quite a long break. Was that just because you sort of had enough at that point, or another game came out, or you just didn't have the time to play?
It was just one because I just wanted when your membership expires, because back in the day you could not buy bonds. My parents didn't want to pay more for more membership, but they didn't sell membership cards. So because of this, I just gave up on it as free to play. I've already experienced all the content. I want to experience something new at that time.
Yeah.
And the reason why it was because I was in high school and I found another game to play, which was called MapleStory, in between the time I quit till 2014.
Cool. So you kind of missed all the drama with when EOC and stuff came out, and you came back to EOC already in the game.
Yeah, when I came back to EOC, I know I saw all the negativity from it, but I adapted to it thanks to Revolution. Had Revolution not existed, there's a very high chance I might not have learned it fast enough.
Well, yeah, I mean, when EOC first launched, it seems like there was no Revolution, so I can't imagine how horrible that would have been for anyone playing at the time. It just sounds so bad. Mm-hmm. So what would you say about RuneScape keeps you playing and has kept you playing like ever since 2014, like you said?
Well, for one thing, I like to do skilling, and I know a lot of people didn't like to do skilling, but skilling, there's 27 skills in total, right? You could either get 99s, or I went for 120s, and eventually I got 200 mil all skills as of last year. I didn't really like bossing, which was a core part of this game, although nowadays, because I haven't learned every boss or perfected it, it's what keeps me playing. And also because I get to make guides and teach people how I learned along the way, that's also what motivated me to continue.
Yeah, being able to sort of share the journey with other people and show them, like, you know, the struggles of learning. Because I know recently you've been trying to tell us out and pushing the Enrage a bit.
Exactly. It's very hard to imagine doing this when you're completely new, so that's a great learning experience.
So do you remember what your first 99 was?
My first 99 was summoning, and that came almost exactly 5 years ago today. and I still have a picture of it,
Yeah,
which is nice.
Nice.
I love taking pictures of my RuneScape character.
And the last 99, like before you maxed.
According to my documents, it was a couple of skills. One of them being crafting, two of them being agility. I forgot the other two.
Okay, but that was sort of the ones that you didn't like so much, was it? Or just you kind of didn't get around to them?
I didn't really get around to them at that point, back in the day.
Cool. And are you much of a quest guy, or not so much?
I do actually enjoy doing quests, although nowadays I haven't done the new quests just yet. I was a former quest cape, aka comp cape, back in 2016.
And then you haven't quite got it back yet. And obviously with Archaeology just around the corner, a month away, that'll be a lot of time to get that back, I'm sure.
Yes.
Yeah. So,
I think that...
Sorry, continue.
Oh my god, I'm not really staring at the webcam. I'm really staring at the Discord screen, like right here.
It's all good.
As opposed to the webcam. Because, but anyways, I don't see myself getting comp cape anytime soon, especially because there's not much major benefit of it, or and the grind isn't really desirable for the new pieces of comp exclusive content.
Yeah, it's not the sort of thing that you're after. You've sort of turned into a bit of a PVMer yourself, you'd say, recently.
Correct.
So have you got a favourite boss?
I do not have a favorite boss, but if I would want to be good at this boss, that would be Telos.
It's just because of the insane sort of skill ceiling on it, would you say?
I wouldn't say it's a skill ceiling, but rather it offers high profit per hour, whether you get a unique or a common.
Yeah. Yeah, just the range of drops. Unless you get very unlucky and get stone spirits every drop. But
yeah.
So, what are your thoughts like looking towards Archaeology? Because I know you're at Runefest. Did you get a chance to play it there, or?
Yes, I actually did. And my thoughts on Archaeology was that it's a very interesting skill and that there are new features towards this. So I think this would be very exciting going forward. And I hope Jagex has learned their lesson about what happened to Invention release day, of the way how it took 2+ years to, 1.5 years to release batch 2.
Yeah, it sounds like they're pulling it all out at once, because they sort of announced that the 5 dig sites are all coming on launch day, and they showed one off in the stream earlier. I don't know if you've had a chance to see it, because it was literally 3 hours ago or whatever, but it looks very nice, the dig site. It's a really big area. Very cool.
Yeah, it's definitely really, really cool for that to happen. I look forward to Archaeology for sure.
Digging up some old fossils and stuff. Be good. So, have you got a favourite quest?
One of my favorite quests, I would say, would be the Ancient Curses quest, and second towards this would be Plague's End. And the biggest reason is because of its rewards, and also because it shows you just how it unlocks a lot of lore behind it. Let's say for the Ancient Curses quest, you get to see the history and explore all the places you normally will never go to if you didn't do that quest, such as the temple underground, or way in the deep wilderness. Well, right beside the deep wilderness, you'll see this place that you'll never go back to anyways after the quest.
Yeah.
And as for Plague's End, you unlock a brand new city that was once an underground place to dig all the way to the other side.
Yeah. Yeah, so it's just the amazing sort of unlocks from the quests. That's why you're a big fan.
Not only is this helpful for the game, but also because it looks brand new. It looks very very mysterious when you first look at it this way.
Similar to like how when you first land on Anachronia and you sort of explore up towards the base camp and you find the dinosaurs and that sort of thing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Essentially.
So are you kind of happy with like all the Anachronia stuff? You quite like Ranch Out of Time and that stuff as well?
I actually do enjoy the Anachronia stuff. Although I wish there was a way to teleport around each and every single big game hunter spot, like an Anachronia teleport seed or something.
maybe like an unlock from the hunter shop or something, like costs a silly amount of marks, and you get sort of these teleport seeds or like unlock teleports, something like that. Yes, be quite a cool idea. Yeah.
Definitely, really, really amazing.
So, is there anything else in like what we know is coming up in 2020 that you're really looking forward to?
I would say, other than what's here available, I would really want more quality of life updates, and I want fixes to be faster in general from the RuneScape team, because the faster we fix content, the better customer retention we have, and all the positive fixes will overshadow the complaints of MTX. Well, not that I complain about it, but I do think that with great updates, it doesn't matter how much MTX there is.
If the content's there for people to play.
Yeah. Correct. Fixes and content.
Because they also announced in the stream earlier, again, it was literally 3 hours ago, so that they're bringing like the Ninja team back for doing those quality of life fixes and things. Yeah, I think there was 6 or 7 of them on the team. So
oh wow,
yeah,
that's so amazing. That's poggers that they're bringing it back.
Yeah, so they're gonna have obviously lines of contact open fairly soon. I think there was a link on the stream earlier, so it might well be up on their homepage today or tomorrow, I'd imagine. But that will be good because then they are obviously focused on those little quality of life things. So it will be good to see how quickly they can get it all in and going.
Oh yeah, I'm hoping that we will get a lot of quality of life fixes that the community has asked for.
Yeah. Alright, so have you got like a favourite time playing RuneScape over the years?
Over the years, my favorite era was I would say that I'm gonna give this to the 2015 era. 2014 to 15 era was when I first came back to this game, where everything was still an evolution of combat, but it wasn't extremely complicated. And also because skilling meant something, that you had to put effort into it and not completely AFK it. Nowadays, it just brings a lot of mindset towards AFK skilling, and that's not necessarily a bad thing, but I do miss that the skilling vibe is dying over the years because as more and more skills are getting MTX'd and also more AFK methods, there's almost no purpose of really doing skilling, well, besides maxing now.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, last year they did sort of the big game hunter update as a new skilling method for hunter. So I guess something like that, but for more skills, would be right up your alley.
Yes.
Yeah. All right. Is there one thing you would change about RS3? Let's take MTX out of it completely. So anything not related to MTX that you would change?
If there's one thing I would change, that's a big question to ask. I'm gonna look up my old notes for how to improve RuneScape video. It was actually a while ago I made that. I'm looking at it right here. I'm on the document here, and one of the things is non-MTX related. Oh. New players experience, as in I want this game to find ways to get new players, and no matter how much this game is going to update, it's how well these updates are going to do. It doesn't help that MTX is here, right? But at the same time, if we're getting positive retention, it will try to attract new players. But the problem with RuneScape for many years is that it's never truly attracted people who have never touched this game in the past. Supposedly, let's say the early 2010s, dating back all the way to the mid 2000s.
Yeah, obviously the success of old school kind of shows that as well. That it is a lot of the nostalgia factor. But then I'm sure with old school there must be new players that have been attracted to it.
Well, based on the social media, yes. Although I do think that this generation has moved away from MMOs, which I know is sad, but I definitely would love if RuneScape 3 can grow as a game.
So you went to Runefest last year. Had you been any times before, or was it your first experience?
It was actually my first experience at Runefest, and the biggest reason was because I just didn't have the time to go in the past, or nor did I have anyone to tag along with, nor did I tell anyone that I was gonna go and meet up specifically with who. But last year, it was actually the most exciting experience I've ever had. In fact, I've never been to Europe before that point, so it was such a great experience as a whole.
It's a big journey to make. So did you travel over on your own, or did you have a buddy this time?
I traveled over on my own, but we still tagged along with people I told I was gonna go anyways, that they were gonna go as well.
So, and what was your favourite thing that you saw there or that you did?
My favorite thing in RuneFest was actually meeting people. That's the center of RuneFest, is basically meeting people that have met you before, that you know in game, or or you've seen their face before of some sort, or they've seen your videos, or etc. Pretty much the social factor of meeting people around the world, because I don't think I would have met any European, well, many people that live in other countries, had I gone to any other place.
Yeah, it
So
is a
RuneFest is
gathering of like
it's a
people
nice
from
world
everywhere.
gathering for RuneScape players.
Yeah, and it's obviously nice having like all the J mods there as well. So did you get much of a chance to chat to them, or
Oh yeah, I did also get a chance to chat with them as well.
do you have a favourite experience chatting to one of them?
I think chatting to one of them, it was mostly Mod Porky, because he's the head for content creators. We talked a little bit of stuff here, and I would say, yeah, overall it was a great experience. I forgot what we talked about, but I think he was the head mod, the community manager.
Yeah, I think he's still head CM, and they've obviously
Yes,
got the other JD and Kari. Is it the new one? I'm sorry, I
Kari, yeah,
completely butchered the name.
or Carrie, Kari. I don't even know how to say it myself either.
So you think you'll be back this year?
There's a very likely chance I'll be back this year as well.
Yeah, it's such a good experience for anyone. Like just to
Although
go
I
along.
think
Oh,
money is probably the biggest factor that scares a lot of people out there. Not the Runefest ticket, but getting there from different countries. If you're not in Europe, especially, it will definitely cost more to fly continent to continent.
well, yeah. I mean, I've visited the States once before, but it's just because of the cost. Like, it's hard to get that money together.
Yes, it really is hard to get, in my opinion.
So let's move into like a bit of your content creation and stuff. So did you start on YouTube or Twitch? What was your origin into making online content?
My origin was YouTube in 2015. It's actually been almost 5 years since I started YouTube on RuneScape related stuff. After that, Twitch I started in 2019.
So what made you start doing your YouTube videos?
It was way back in 2015 when I was really all about doing skilling methods, and I was thinking, maybe I might be some skiller guide in the future that can teach some methods that nobody, well, not many people knew about. And the biggest inspiration was the old time YouTuber named Munselzonki. Although his skilling guides were great and all, but if you were to look at a super efficient standpoint, I wanted to see if I could outmatch him in that, because it was also at the time, I believe he was starting to lose interest in RuneScape and video creation as a whole.
So you wanted to kind of pick up where he had left off and continue with
Yes,
all the new methods and stuff that were coming out.
exactly.
So and then what made you start on Twitch? What was the inspiration behind that?
What made me start on Twitch was because I felt as though I needed to show people that I have personality. and I'm not a guy who's who's just supposed to be known for making guides, and also because I'm learning bosses in the future, so that is also a motivation as well. And while I did start doing skilling only skilling only streams, eventually I started to do bossing streams so that people can give me tips along the way, and I can show people how much I learned, and people can see my progress.
Yeah, that is the thing with a live stream. You're very like open to everybody. So obviously YouTube videos, you will see the successes, but not the fails because they'll get edited out. But when it comes to
Yes.
a live stream, there's no way to avoid that.
Exactly.
So it shows like your actual skill level, which is why it's impressive with people like obviously Lucario and Couchy, how they're able to just go endlessly.
I know you were able to interview Evil Lucario, but what about Couchy? Maybe, I don't know. If
I don't know. I was just going to say, I don't know if anyone knows his voice, so, but I will definitely put the question to him.
Ryan would be the most perfect person. RS Guy would be the most perfect person to reach out to him as well.
So, what is your favorite thing about making YouTube videos?
My favorite thing about making YouTube videos is that I get to teach people and inspire people to do things that is sort of out of their comfort zone, and to teach people how to max faster while also, because when it comes to skilling, a lot of people don't enjoy it. I want to make it so that people enjoy a little more, not necessarily enjoy it to the max. And I also want to teach people that sometimes efficiency helps, because the less time you spend on a grind, the less time you'll spend not enjoying that grind.
Right, yeah. You just want to minimize the amount of time they have doing stuff they don't necessarily enjoy, just to be able to get to that max the max cape,
yes,
obviously.
Just to get to their goals faster, so that they don't have to worry about grinding it longer. So, for example, let's say I need to spend 40 more hours doing something I don't enjoy, which is skilling, right? But if I told someone that I can spend 30 hours without spending too much money, but you need to spend more effort, you'll save 10 hours of tediousness just because of this.
Just by putting in the effort. And then by putting in the effort, you might realize, oh, actually, I am kind of enjoying this as well.
Yes, exactly. And you're enjoying the faster progression as well. It's a psychological effect of this.
Have you got a favorite individual video you've ever made?
My favorite individual video I've ever made, let's see. I'm going to go... Good question. Actually, it was as of late, but it's going to be my complete double XP weekend guide this year. And the biggest reason why is because there's a new format for this, and that I want people to realize how to take full advantage of double XP weekend, because if you take advantage of this, then you get to save a lot of money, time, and effort as a whole.
Nice. So it's obviously quite good, the new extended double XP. I'm loving it, because this past weekend I was away. I had no time to get on the game, but I've still got all this week to play and use that double XP thing. So, are you a fan of it? This new sort of way of doing double XP?
I'm an absolute fan of this. It means that we don't have to stay up all day, all night, doing everything. I mean, trying to do our skills we want, and that we get to, and that, let's say, if you want to do construction, because back in the day, I remember doing 30 to 40 hours of construction at one weekend to 200 mil grind. If you think about it this way, you taking a break would mean your XP wasting, but now taking a break and logging out means that you don't have to worry about anything.
And you can just relax and live your life like normal, yeah. And give your hand a rest as well, because obviously construction is a lot of clicking. That poor mouse. So, with streaming, have you got a favourite thing about it?
Well, when it comes to streaming, my favorite thing about this is the ability to learn bosses and compare strategies with other people. And also, like I said, which ties into my purpose of inspiring people to in regards to doing better at things. Well, streaming would because the core of my stream is that my strategies are good but not while not optimized like RS Guy or Evil Lucar or anyone who does full manual, they're at least very entry level friendly and 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 capable of picking things up, which is probably what people watch me for in general.
It's a stream where people can kind of, I guess, a bit more appreciate the skill level because they are like at a similar thing, maybe like slightly below, so they can
Relatable.
see how to. Yeah, that's the word. So they can see how to improve themselves, and obviously, like you said, having the access to Twitch chat with these people that are insane at the game, just coming in and giving you tips, really helps out with your own
And
progression.
and also because the people who are better than me can also give me tips on how to improve as well. So I'm both teaching and learning in two-dimensional ways. It's not just one-dimensional for YouTube where I'm only teaching a guide.
Yeah, and people can't really tell you sort of ways they've got and that sort of thing, or alternatives maybe that you hadn't seen before.
Yeah, and it's because with YouTube videos, once you upload a guide, there's no editing afterwards, and it's very disturbing to have to redo a guide, especially if something happened in less than 2 months. Whereas with Twitch streams, you got an unlimited number of tries to improve yourself until people think that until people who are good at this game realize, oh, you've actually learned this fast, you know?
Yeah, they can see, hang on, he's now like at 1,000% in rage or something like that.
Yeah, exactly. Just imagine. I think at one point someone's gonna wait for that. Some people are actually waiting for that moment for me to hit silver, or possibly even all the way to golden warden.
It's a long journey, that, I think. But with enough time and dedication, I think everyone can do it. It's just
Oh yeah,
a
true.
lot of learning and a lot of patience. At least that's what I've learned watching Wazzy's streams
Yes.
recently. The RNG has to be on your side sometimes.
And no mistakes, basically.
Nope. So you said you've been streaming since 2019. How was like the sort of growing an audience and everything? Did you have people obviously who knew you from YouTube coming over, or has it been a bit tricky getting people over?
At first, it was actually really tricky and when I did this streaming, I barely got even like 5 or even 10 viewers for a couple of months. And now, obviously, I don't want to sound entitled or anything, but when you think about it this way, I had around 11,000 subscribers at the time, YouTube subscribers at the time I started Twitch, and I even told people that I scheduled the streams, but and my Twitch channel did stagnate like to up to 25 viewers at most until I finally released this new series called Bossing the Max Cash, which now the special niche content towards this is that I get to show off what I'm capable of doing, and I also get to learn, and people get to learn. Oh, and of course, people also recognize me from YouTube, so they look forward to next episode. So what I had to do was I had to find the sweet spot of balance of Twitch and YouTube bridging.
Yeah, so like you've got obviously your highlight videos on YouTube, and people will be like, wait, where's all this like content come from? And then they'll see in the description or whatever it's on Twitch, so it gets people coming over as well.
Right.
So have you got any tips, would you say, for any new streamers, anyone that wants to get out there and get going?
I would say a tip for this is make your content unique and special to the and also try to learn how to establish a community, because something that's been missing for years is my inability to be communicate to establish a community with others. When I say that, I mean like a perfect example of this was when my early days on Twitch was surely I had this many subscribers, but that was because they were only there to watch videos and not to join in on any live activities.
Yeah, a completely different sort of way of taking in content, I guess, having stuff on demand as opposed to, tuning into it like a TV channel almost is Twitch, really.
And also, like you gotta just have people that are part of your community that generally want to be a part of your community in general. In that case,
so building a community, chatting to people, and so interacting with Twitch chat, you'd say, is very important as well.
Absolutely, it's important. I mean, unless you're a PVM god, then you're gonna have to show them that you care about your viewers as a whole.
So, what would you say your biggest challenge of streaming is currently?
My biggest challenge of streaming, I would say, is, well, is being able to. It's sometimes keeping calm when it comes to deaths at bosses. Looking at the Telos streams, for example, because people said pushing in rage is the best way to learn, I was like, yeah, sure, I'm gonna go ahead and push in rage, right?
Yeah.
But when you push in rage, you realize that you would die often because have you heard of the geometry dash or something? This game?
I think so. Is that like the sort of bullet hell one? Or is it
the one where you just boom, 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 go like this. Yeah, it's like saying that every time I fail that, I rage. It's like Telos is basically like this progressively going from phase 1 through 5. So like if you, for example, let's say I died to phase 2 to something, and I'm like, why did I make this mistake? Or why didn't I realize this was coming? Or whatever. Like this, I need to control my rage when it comes to dying at failing several times in a row, especially. Because nobody likes dying in RuneScape. Yes, it's part of the process of learning, but when you're dying too often, it's like failing too often at once.
It's like, goodbye, all of my money. It was nice knowing you. So it's just, I guess, making sure that when you do die, you've learned something and you know what you could have done to make your experience a little bit less expensive.
Yes. And also, like, because when you rage on Twitch, people, I don't want to rub off the impression to saying that, I don't enjoy this content. No, it's not that I'm burned out. It's just that I was in the heated moment of it. It was a shame that I died. I'm sure a lot of people would feel the same if they died to their trying to learn some boss, but they really, really didn't want to give up on it.
Well, it just shows your like commitment to it. Really, it shows that you are emotionally invested rather than just plodding along and I died, or I'll keep going. It shows you actually have a bit of sort of feeling for what's going on.
Right.
That's good. So I've got one more question. Have you got a favourite moment you've had while streaming?
My favorite moment while streaming was okay, good question, because I never really keep full like Twitch exclusive highlights, and although most of my highlights on Twitch are related to drops, but I would say this Warden would be my favorite moment, and the biggest reason was because it's to prove that, hey, maybe I am a very capable learner, and that and this happened recently, and that I'm very capable of doing things that not a lot of people could have done, despite my inexperience in PVM. Because if you look at who I am as a person, I've always been a skiller for a very long time. I didn't PVM until July of last year.
Right, yeah. So you see how far you've come since then, and it's that's at the moment the final sort of culmination of your skills and practice.
The biggest chapter stepping stone.
Very nice. All right, well, I've covered everything I had on my list. I don't know if there's anything that you wanted to chat about or any shout-outs you want to make?
I think not really.
No one you want to shout out?
Oh, shoutouts?
Yeah. Sorry, I lumped them both in together.
I don't know about shoutouts. Like, Good question. Yeah, because I rate all content creators equally, and I don't want to just miss out on certain people. Like I don't have a true favorite versus not true, which is least favorite. Like I evenly rate everyone.
So a shout out to all the content creators and obviously all your viewers
Yes.
as well. Anyone that's watched you over the years.
I wish thank you all for your support and especially to thanking all for the raids and hosts on Twitch as well. And of course, regardless, any support works, whether it's financial or non-financial. I really appreciate that.
All right, lovely. Well, thank you very much for spending a bit of your afternoon with me and doing this interview. It's been great chatting to you.
Yeah, you too.
I hope everyone that's been watching has enjoyed and they're ready for another one same time next week.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Goodbye.
See ya.